inside the cage again. At least she knocked that ring rust off there.
All right, here's our next bout. It's Ned Spears against Will Bolduc. It's a flyweight bout at 125, presented by Fracture Fightwear.
Our next bout of the evening is for the Valor Flyweight Championship. First, please welcome to the cage, Ned Spears.
Ned Spears, the challenger for Will Bolduc in this amateur MMA bout presented by Fracture Fightwear. Flyweights at 125 for Will Bolduc's Flyweight Valor Championship. Ned Spears is 8-1. He's out of Iron Lock MMA in Pennington Gap, Virginia, and he'll be taking on Will Bolduc, who's 8-5 out of the D1 MMA Team Chaos camp in Knoxville. And guys, talk about this matchup, a challenge for an 8-1 fighter against Will Bolduc, who is on a nice roll.
Well, Ned has nearly, a decade of combat sports competition under him. He's a catch wrestler. All of his wins have come by submission. Will is a solid grappler, too. Coming from Josh Cate's team, D1 here in Knoxville. The striking may play the difference here between the two of them.
Well, it's the old lion versus the young lion here. Tremendously. Ned Spears, he has been on such a roll. He's been around for so long. But how long can you ride out that trade? We've got a youngster here getting ready to step into the cage. He's hungry. And I'm anxious to see if the old man can handle it. I'm an old man myself, so I can say this. So I'm anxious to see it. It's always very entertaining and interesting.
Ned Spears won his last bout over Robert Lester. That was in February of 2015. Before that, he had about a 3.5 year layoff before his previous fight, but an 8-1 record. And then Will Bolduc is on a really nice roll. He's won 3 straight, and we'll tell you about him in 1 second. Back to the cage. Here's Jennifer.
And his opponent, please welcome Will Bolduc.
And you hear the music of D1 MMA Team Chaos, the black and gold that signifies the camp. And here comes Will Bolduc, the champ in the flyweight division for Valor Championship. Take a look at the tail of the tape between these two in this flyweight championship bout. The champ, 17 years younger, as Casey was talking about the difference, the young lion and the veteran. 2 inches taller is Ned Spears, and both of them with plenty of experience despite Will's age.
Undoubtedly, of course, right next to us is Jason Coomer. He's an old school catch wrestler. Competed back at the Arnold Classic way back there, 2003, 2004. I saw him land a beautiful flying armbar there. And now he is here in the corner of Mr. Ned Spears, a good friend and his student. And it's great to see Mr. Jason Coomer out here in the corner yet again.
Could this be Will Bolduc's final amateur bout?
It could be. I think if Ned Spears has his way, he's going to do his best to thwart any efforts that Will Bolduc has.
Will Bolduc is in the cage. Back to the cage. Official introductions. Here's Jennifer.
This bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the Mad Hatter red corner. He weighed in at 125 pounds, holds a record of 8 wins and 1 loss, and fights out of Iron Lock MMA in Pennington Gap, Virginia. Put your hands together for Ned Spears. And his opponent, fighting out of the OEB blue corner. He weighed in at 125 pounds, holds a record of 8 wins and 5 defeats, and fights out of D1 MMA Team Chaos in Knoxville, Tennessee. Give it up for Will Bolduc. Your referee for this fight is Justin Brown.
Justin Brown, our referee in this flyweight championship bout for Will Bolduc's title. Ned Spears in the plaid trunks and Will Bolduc in the black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow And three-minute rounds of this championship bout, and we are underway. Valor 32 in Knoxville.
Those plaid shorts, it looks like Ned was sitting out on the lanai with a Coors Light in his hand. He steps out into the cage for a fight now.
I don't know if those are knee pads or long leggings underneath, but
Will
Bolduc so durable, poised inside the cage. We've seen him be very impressive those last few outings.
looks real composed right now. Just feeling him out.
Ned very relaxed, on his toes though. He has great footwork. Both of these gentlemen moving about the ring very well.
Casey, explain catch can submission.
Catch can. Kane was talking about it earlier. It's the original wrestling art. It's what professional wrestling was before professional wrestling wasn't real anymore. And these guys know a different style of submission holds, definitely top heavy as opposed to guard specific as in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But Ned, he can do it all, man. He is not just a catch wrestler. He does have a great, tremendous Jiu-Jitsu prowess as well.
Will landing that jab.
Yeah.
Ned's wanting to lean back to avoid it, but he leans back. He's not gonna have his feet underneath him. He's gonna have no base. Will's gonna give Will a lot of options from there.
Oh, that was a
Good
nice shot there by Ned Spears. Bolduc answers back.
Ned Spears, all of his wins by submission. Will Bolduc has won in a variety of ways.
Now there is one thing, or there are many things that the young man can have, the advantages that they can have over the old lion, you know, the athleticism, the stamina, a lot of those things. Carpenter hands is not typically one of them. That's what you've got to look at here with Ned Spears. I'm certain when you lock up with him, he is very strong and solid and can wear on your cardio if you allow him to.
Oh, yeah.
Will Bolduc only has one first-round finish. That was over Justin Watson back in 2013. Won by submission at times, TKO strikes at times, decision other times.
Will's bugging
Beautiful.
that front leg a lot,
Yeah.
that inside-outside kick.
Beautiful combat combinations there by Will Bolduc.
Spears moving pretty well for the veteran. Light on his feet. Kick caught.
And the takedown here.
Now we'll see what Ned can do.
Absolutely. This could be crucial here. The takedown. Not a lot has happened. I think Bolduc was ahead in the striking, but this could be a game changer.
Not much time, though, as the round is coming to an end, and there it is. And Ned Spears thought he got kicked, but I thought that was before. It was an up kick before the end of the round. So interesting. So you guys would give that first round to Will?
Will controlled most of the. Will controlled the majority of the round. I'd say I'd give the round to Will.
Yeah, definitely throwing a much more feverish pace. A lot of combinations there, but Ned did catch that kick and land the takedown. It's going to be depending on what the judges see. We talked about that all night long. It's subjective for sure.
The judges do weigh takedowns heavily, but at the same time, when you're getting peppered the whole round with punches, you know, it's a fight.
Certainly.
Will Bolduc had suffered a pretty serious concussion that he has bounced back from, and had in his last bout, a bloody second-round TKO, and in a win at Valor 30 for Will Bolduc. Win over Casey Leakley, also wins over Aaron Milloway and Michael Linus most recently in his 3-fight win streak. And we're underway here in round 2 in this flyweight championship bout for Will Bolduc's flyweight title. Bolduc in the yellow and Spears in the plaid.
Now I agree with David in saying that Ned needs to close the distance in my estimation. Close the distance, get that takedown, and get it to the mat earlier. That way he can apply his pressure and score. Otherwise, Bolduc, I think he's going to get better as the fight goes on.
Finding his distance, finding his range a little better, peppering him. He's going to need to step in a little bit when he's striking if he wants to land anything significant.
Will Bolduc has gone the distance 5 times in his career, so he's got the cardio to certainly do it. And a reversal there, and now Bolduc is off the cage, and Spears puts him back there. Valor Fights 32 fighting for autism here at the Knoxville Civic Coliseum. Vince Ferrar, Casey Oxendine, and David Robbins cage side. In this flyweight title bout, Bolduc in the yellow, Spears in the plaid. Spears looking over to his corner for his instruction. Corner very quiet. Will Bolduc looking for a takedown here, but blocked by Spears. Bolduc's still leaning on Spears. Not a ton happening. Little knee by Bolduc.
Oh, that's crucial here.
Mistake there.
Ned looking for that lateral. He does regain half guard. But this position is scoring nonetheless for Will Bolduc.
Pot shots to the side by Bolduc. And Spears has the neck of Will Bolduc. David, what do you want to see from
I'd like to see Will start to pass the guard here. And from here, posture up, start dropping punches.
Yeah, Ned completes his full guard position, open.
Now, all the shots from Will just to the side. There's one, a left.
Oh, looking for a triangle is Ned Spears. Is he going to have time to complete it, though?
Less than 10 now.
I don't think he has it in there.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. And that's the end of round number 2.
Good round by both of them. Ned took a risk. Didn't pay off for him. Ended up with Will on top of him. I think it's going to give the round to Will.
A lot of the fight was alongside the cage, and they kept reversing positions there along the cage for a good part of it until that takedown for Will.
Yeah, undoubtedly. I think it's go time here for Ned Spears. Otherwise, Will Bolduc's going to walk away with a huge victory here tonight.
Keep his title and maybe look to go pro after that.
Yeah, we've seen that quite a bit. Valor champions in the amateur ranks say, all right, it's time. I'm the champ. I'm going to give up my belt, and I'm going to turn pro. And Will's had, despite being fairly young, he's had a ton of fights. Will Bolduc focused, bouncy in the corner. Ned Spears a little bit slower out, but he's loosening up and is ready to go. Round 3 of this flyweight title bout for Bolduc's flyweight championship. We're underway.
Bolduc comes out with a fury here.
Good shots by Will moving forward.
Oh, here we go.
Spears went for a flying knee. Corner called for the knees, and Spears delivered.
Nice back and forth on the cage.
Yeah.
It's a lot of what we saw in round 2 for a good part, the first half of the round. And they separate.
Oh, big shot there by Ned Spears. Will Bolduc fires back. Stiff shots there by Will Bolduc.
Spears had his hands down while he's throwing his jabs, so you got to be careful with that. Will Bolduc's corner wants a takedown. They exchange knees.
Oh, there's big shots there by Spears. And again, Bolduc fires back forward like Rocky Balboa.
Will needs to keep Ned from closing the distance on him and getting that over-under. Keep the fight striking.
Spears' jab is landing more frequently, but his hands are down.
You know, Bolduc has been faced with a lot of adversity in the past. and he has fired through it. We saw in his last bout he was bleeding. He got caught in the nose, and he was bleeding everywhere. He came back and finished that fight. He is so die-hard, and you're seeing it even here. He continues to battle into the third round, into the closing minute of this fight.
Bolduc cranking on the neck. Just got to avoid the takedown. He doesn't want that to score.
Oh, that looks deep. That choke is deep here. Bolduc is pulling it. That is tight.
Corner wants him to turn his head in. Can he execute that?
Now, regardless of whether this submission lands or not, whether Bolduc finishes it, it's preventing Spears from applying any sort of offense in the closing moments of this fight.
It'd be a lot easier for Will to finish that if that arm wasn't there in the way. 10 seconds left, a good spot to finish the fight, really, even though he's on his back.
And Casey, great point. Regardless, even if he doesn't get the finish, he control and dominate there for the judges to finish it out.
Undoubtedly. A great fight. Great showing by the old Lion there, 45 years old. I think it's going to be Will Bolduc taking it home. And as you mentioned before, possibly turning pro in the process.
Do you think that's a good move for him?
Absolutely. He's a tremendous talent.
Yeah.
You know, what is that, 14 fights now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's time.
And at that weight class, there's not a lot left. You know, I mean, these are tough fights to find.
So, Will Bolduc, the champ, looks like he will hold on to it. We're going to go to the judges' scorecards to find out for sure for Will's Flyweight Valor Championship in this bout presented by Fracture Fightwear. Reminder, go to valorfights.com and check out upcoming fights. You can see information on pay-per-views and so much more at valorfights.com. You can follow us on Twitter at valorfights as well. Interact with us, follow us, interact with us there. And come out to our upcoming events. And you can see the list there at valorfights.com. Chattanooga, May 14th, the next one for Valor Fights 33. Our judges, Jeff Hobbs, Jason Kubek, Lisa Duran, Will Bolduc. The hometown guy in this bout with Ned Spears, who came down from Virginia here at Valor Fights 32, fighting for autism. Will was sporting that. He was walking around with his belt at the weigh-ins. David, you got the belt. You might as well walk around with it, right?
Exactly.
I'd be taking that thing to the grocery store, the gas station, over the shoulder, pumping gas.
When I got my last fight was for the 170 title. You know, I won that thing. I went to City Cafe afterwards, and I propped that big thing right there on the table.
You got it flaunted. No doubt about it. So Will Bolduc talking to his crew, including the legendary Josh Cate over there in the corner. Team Chaos, black and yellow. Will feels good about his chances here as we go to the judges' scorecards.
You see the Killer B on the back of Will's shirt. Josh and I have the same Muay Thai instructors. Israel Gomez is out of Atlanta. Phenomenal instructor.
Former instructor of Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva. He was a coach at the Shootbox Academy. He trained Anderson Silva, Vanderlei Silva, a whole slew of guys. He's trained with the best guys in the world, you know.
That's tremendous training to get for you and for him. That's unbelievable. See Tim Lloyd, Valor Fights president. I mean, God, the job that Tim Lloyd does to put together these events is just incredible. Super guy, too, and we appreciate his hard work. All right, official decision. Let's go to the judges' scorecards. Back to the cage and Jennifer.
After 3 rounds, we go to your judges' scorecard for decision. Your first judge, Lisa Doran, scores this bout 29-28, Bolduc. Your second judge, Jeff Hobbs, scores this bout 30-27, Bolduc. And your third judge, Jason Kubik, scores this bout 29-28 for your Valor Flyweight Champion, Will Bolduc.
A unanimous decision win for the champ, the flyweight champ at 125. Will Bolduc retains his title and moves to 9-5 in his career. Ned Spears falls to 8-2. So now the question is, does Will Bolduc give up the amateur belt and turn pro? We will find that out. So what do you think of the judges' scoring? Two of them had 2 rounds to 1, and one of them had all 3 rounds to Will. What do you think?
Well, I mean, there were a lot of exchanges there. Like I said, that first one, a lot of the grappling-oriented type judges, they might have scored that takedown, and that's what I was thinking there. So it definitely wasn't enough to turn the tide, but it, it's subjective.
I had it 2-1 all the way.